As of today, Wednesday, November 5th, our federal government's been shut down for 36 days, and this has caused massive harm to millions of Americans all over the country, including millions of Americans having food taken off their table from food stamps /EBT/SNAP benefits not going out, despite two separate federal judges ordering the Trump administration to use about $5 billion in emergency funds to pay out some of those benefits, which, as of yesterday, he said they will not do until the Democrats agree to vote to reopen the government. Hi all, I'm Marlon with ChronicPainWarriorsUnited. I hope y'all are having a good week, or a decent enough week so far as of this Wednesday, and hopefully the time change isn't screwing with y'all too bad. So real quick, elections are finally over, the 2025 sort of midterm election type deal. And that, my friends, has been a big impediment to a deal being done between Democrats and Republicans. A lot of what's been going on has been political theater and brinkmanship for the voters. They've been, I'm holding the line for my constituents, all that type of thing. Now that voting is done, I do believe that they will do what they usually do. They will go back behind closed doors and they will make a deal that basically nobody's happy with, right? I mean, that's usually how these things go. They play the brinkmanship game right up to the point where they don't need to anymore, i.e. no more elections. Then they go behind closed doors and finally make a deal. And I do think that that's what's going to happen. You see Mike Johnson from the House already saying, we're getting closer and blah, blah, blah. And you have John Thune in the Senate saying the same thing. And anyways, I do believe now that the elections are over, they will push towards a deal faster. The wild card will be Trump himself. Donald Trump, President Trump, has wanted to burn Obamacare down to the ground from day one. And it's been a huge reason why large numbers of people have supported him. And basically the Obamacare subsidies that are at the heart of this argument, about $357 billion in subsidies, according to the Congressional Budget Office, over 10 years. That's really the heart of the argument over the whole thing. $35 billion a year, which equals out to about 0.44% in the total budget for a year. And by the way, a lot of people have claimed that these payments go to illegal immigrants or illegal aliens, just like SNAP benefits. They claim the same thing, which is a lie. Illegal immigrants are legally barred from taking federal payments like this. Now, can you steal Social Security numbers? Can you steal people's identity and try and do it that way? Yes, but you also have illegal immigrants who live in households, like for food stamps, for instance, with legal American citizens. That legal citizen in that household with that illegal immigrant has the right to apply for SNAP or EBT or food stamp benefits, whatever you want to call them, just like any other citizen if they qualify for them. And that's where a lot of the bastardization of the numbers have come from. A decent percentage of households who get SNAP benefits or EBT or food stamps do have some type of illegal immigrant in the household, but those are paid out to the citizen, not the house. Anyways, the types of lies that both parties have thrown back and forward against each other during this whole process has been intentional. They do this to muddy the water so bad so that when they do finally get behind those closed doors and make that deal, nobody really knows what's going on. Nobody really knows what actually is happening because everything's been so muddied and screwed up. And that's a big tactic that they use in these things. Now, last, the Obamacare subsidies themselves. We have news articles like this coming out showing that people's premiums are being driven up 2, 3, 4 times over without the subsidies in them. That will absolutely hammer huge numbers of people all over the country, including this family and the small business that they run that this article is talking about. Healthcare costs have gotten so out of hand, and Obamacare, or the Affordable Care Act, was a big part of why, but also the Republicans coming back behind it, destroying it, with a hammer, burning it all down, and then not bringing anything really to replace what they burnt down is also contributing to the problem. So it's not like just one or the other did it. There's all kinds of other things at play too. But those subsidies not going out would harm a large number of people. And that's another reason I think you'll see them move towards a deal quicker now that elections are over, because there's more and more articles like this. The question will be, how long do they put the subsidies in for? How much do they apply to them? How much do the Republicans want in offsets? And if they get to reconciliation and send a law to Donald Trump, will he even sign it with those subsidies in it? Because like I said, that's his last white whale. He wants to burn Obamacare to the ground, and those subsidies are basically the last major part of it. Without those subsidies, the Affordable Care Act is all but dead. And that's been a huge goal of his, like I said, since day one. So would he sign that? I have to think he probably would, just because of the amount of damage and harm that's being done every day that this continues, both to actual people in their daily lives, i.e. not being able to put food on the table, not being able to afford their medications, not being able to afford their ridiculous premiums on the Obamacare portal, and on and on and on. It's probably hurting pretty much everybody, or everybody somebody knows in some way. So I do think that they're going to move faster towards a deal now, but what it'll actually look like and how badly it screws over the American people is yet to be seen, as always. And of course, we won't know until they come out from back behind those closed doors. This is all so wrong.